Hi guys, welcome to Nothing Geek TV. Today I have Lenovo A6000 Plus up against the latest Yuphoria handset. Both of these phones have some of the features in common. So let's see which one should you go for. For starters, I have a 5-inch HD display on both the handsets. The touch and the visibility, the colors level, the viewing angles is good enough on both these handsets. So they are equal when it comes to the display. If you talk about the form factor, again the form factor is more or less similar. Yuphoria is just slightly lengthier than the Lenovo, but apart from that, if we talk about the width, it's more or less similar. You can see the size, it's similar, but then coming to the build quality of these handset, guys, Lenovo A6000 Plus is no match to the build quality of Yuphoria. As you can see, I have complete solid metal. It's gold color metal on the side of the Yu Yuphoria, and the back plate is a smooth, nice plastic, which is good to hold. And the phone weighs optimum, so it gives you a nice look and feel. It's nice fashion device, you can say, and it will add to your style and has substance too. I mean, the display, it's a Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protected display. On the other hand, Lenovo A6000 Plus, it's rather cheap looking, and the plastic used is also cheap on the phone. The display doesn't come with any Corning Gorilla Glass or other kind of protection. It's only a scratch resistant display. So in terms of build quality, Yuphoria is much ahead of the Lenovo A6000 Plus. Moving on, let me test the OTG on both these handsets. I'll just pop in this OTG cable. So guys, as you can see, Yuphoria is not detecting the OTG and it doesn't support OTG, that is clear. Let me put in the same USB cable in the Lenovo A6000 Plus. Let me go to the storage, and no, it is also not detecting the OTG. So both these phones do not support the OTG cable. So both these handsets have a slot to insert the micro SD card slot, micro SD card. Now let me show you the amount of free RAM on these phones. Initially, both the handsets come with 2 GB of RAM, but on the A6000 Plus, as you can see, I'm having 1.4 GB of RAM free, and in Yuphoria it's also 1.4 GB of RAM which is free to the users, and out of 16 GB, around 11 GB is the space you will be getting as a user, which is free. Moving on to the camera, I have a 8 megapixel camera on both these handsets. The camera lens is slightly bulging in the Yuphoria. This is not the case in the Lenovo. It's a in-piece lens, it is not bulging out. On the other hand, I have a 5 megapixel camera, front facing camera on Yuphoria, and while the front facing camera on A6000 Plus, it's just a 2 megapixel front facing cam. So friends, this image was clicked with flash on of this toy car, and I'll just zoom in. You can clearly see the amount of details and colors are more on the Lenovo A6000 Plus, while the Yuphoria is not able to capture that much amount of detail or the shine on the car. Let me explore some other image. Now this is the image which was clicked by the same distance, but the flash was turned off this time, and again you can see the image on A6000 is much more natural and much more detailed than what we have on the Yuphoria. This image of the earthen pot was clicked outdoors. Now it is appearing fine on both the phones, but let me just zoom in. Again guys, as you can see, the details run much more fine. You can't see the spots at the bottom in the Yuphoria, whereas these are clearly visible in the A6000 Plus. So A6000 Plus is having a better camera than the Yuphoria. Again, you can see the image is much more lively and full of colors in the A6000 Plus. That is not the case in the Yuphoria. Moving on to the front facing cam, I hope that will be good on the Yuphoria since it is a 5 MP cam. So yup, the front facing cam of the Yuphoria is better than what I have on the Lenovo A6000 Plus. So guys, overall I would rate the rear cam of the A6000 Plus much better than what I have on Yuphoria, but the front facing cam of Yuphoria is better than A6000 Plus. Talking about the performance, both the phones have 2 GB RAM. Like I told you earlier, I showed you the free RAM, and both the phones are having the same processor, Qualcomm Snapdragon 4110. I ran Antutu benchmark on both these handsets, and this is what Antutu had to say. So Lenovo scores 21,265, Yuphoria scores 23,875. This is not a major difference. I mean, if I run the benchmark again, the score will be around similar. So that's not a problem. But what this score means to you as a user, if you are using Facebook, using email, running WhatsApp and other apps simultaneously, both the phones will handle it. If you want to run games like Asphalt 8, Overkill 3, they can be at the best played at low graphics settings. And if you are running games like Subway Surfer, Shark Evolution, the medium level game, Clash of Clans, etc., they will run fine. That won't be a problem. So heavy games are not meant for these phones, but light to moderate games or heavy games at lowest graphic settings and multitasking is good enough on both the phones. Both the phones show less amount of heating factor is much more less in Lenovo A6000 Plus. Now let me show you the multi-touch on both the phones. Kindly hit the subscribe button, guys. If you're liking the video, kindly hit it. So I have 5-point multi-touch on both the phones, which is good enough. So performance wise, both the phones are equally good enough. I have Cyanogen OS, so that gives me more options to tweak and customize the phone according to my settings. The Yuphoria phone is I'm talking about. Lenovo A6000 doesn't have Cyanogen, and Yuphoria also has the latest Lollipop software, whereas that is not the case with the Lenovo. And talking about the battery, I'll just show you the back plate. It's removable on both the handsets. So friends, I have the battery is removable on both the phones. I have a 2300 milliamp hour battery on A6000 Plus, whereas the battery on Yureka, Yuphoria, pardon me, is 2230 milliamp hour. Similar battery. So the battery lasts with moderate usage, light to moderate user, it lasts one complete day. With slightly heavy usage, if you go into running GPS or playing heavy games or watching videos at length, then the battery needs to be charged during the night time. As far as the SIM card slots are concerned, I have two SIM card slots on both the handsets. Both the handsets are 4G phones, and I can also pop in a micro SD card to increase the storage capacity. Friends, we talked on a lot of fronts on these phones. Performance wise, they will give you around about the same performance. Camera wise, the Lenovo A6000 Plus has a much better rear camera than Yuphoria. Yuphoria has a slightly better front facing camera than the A6000 Plus. Battery wise, it's almost similar. So overall, the difference boils down, if you want a sturdy phone with better looks, a premium looks, and a nice front-facing camera, Yuphoria should be your choice. Otherwise, if you're fine with a bit cheap build, if you put in a cover, that won't be a problem. And if you want a nice rear camera, go for Lenovo A6000 Plus. So that was all from my side. If you are having any queries, kindly hit the subscribe button below and leave your comments in the comment section. I will answer all your questions personally. Have a great day.